Yay, greetings, good morning. Today I'm particularly happy because I remember the name of that South African penny whistle musician, and I actually Googled him and I found him and was very happy. And I was like, whoa, this is the gentleman. His name is Robert Sitole, and apparently he returned to South Africa after South Africa was free, and he went to live where he came from in Cape Town, District 6. And he died in 2006, just a year before I went to Cape Town and I was busking on the streets of Cape Town. But he was busking in Cape Town too. So that's a great lead for me. It's an amazing connection for London to Cape Town. But yes, that gentleman used to come to 59 Loughborough Park Road. And he did come one day. I think maybe he was looking for Sheila or something. Or sometimes the musicians used to come when Remy was there. They used to come just for the music. But the music went downhill with Sheila's crew and his attitude to music and everything. He just really took everything down. And, you know, so I know that day he did not come to see me. He came for some other business and he was hanging around, and then he heard me practicing and doing my thing. So he came to where I was, and then he gave me this long, how could you say, testimony on sound and how sound brought about light. And like I said in the other video, the seventh chords, and then that F that was shaped a funny way. And I really I had a book that had different formation of chords, and I would always skip the other alternatives because I just wanted to write songs, and wasn't really into the inversions and things. But this inversion that he showed me, I took it to me and I made it part of my exercise. So we would play diminished and then the inversion of the F. And I would say that that was my departure into thinking jazz. I'll always return to that point because that is the point where the Bible and sound and jazz, you know, and it was handed over to me by this musician who should have been world famous but was actually penniless in London. And so as I Google him, I see that he's got connections to Phil Ox and other people. Because, like I said, a short while after he'd been around the house, I saw him on a documentary, and I'm looking for that documentary. I can't remember if it was Channel 4, BBC, or what, but it really captured him and him being in exile. I think actually it was about many other musicians who were in exile. So maybe I might find probably musicians from Chile and everything and all of that. So that would be a very interesting lead to follow in terms of, you know, the past catching up with my future plans. You know, really. So I feel very happy about that. Anyway, let me. I think with this video, we are now definitely in 1990. That gentleman came to see me in 89, you know, and then by the winter time of 89, I'd lost my voice. And after that, my voice kind of like returned later on. By the 11th of February, when Mandela was freed, I did have my voice back, and I was back on the streets singing, and we were at the Africa Center, really having a great time. So I think I'm just gonna look a bit at the characters and a few of the things that were going on at 59 Loughborough Park Road and the people who used to meet and went busking, just to give you a bit of the color and the vibe that I was caught up in. You know, first of all, I was very proud of myself because I was independent. You know, I could buy my own food by playing on the streets and had a place to stay and everything, and I felt proud. I said, wow, you know, here I am, you know, 19, totally independent, doing my thing, writing my songs and getting respect from musicians. So I love that about that time. So let's do 1990, 11th February, celebrating Mandela's release at the Africa Center. Guess who goes on stage? Tony. Anybody who knows Tony, Tony is a terrible musician, like no hope whatsoever. Can't sing in key, can't keep time, but he was the hardest working person on the scene. He worked harder than me, he worked harder than Richard, he worked harder than Then Steve Wellington, he worked harder than anybody. Tony was out there night and day, as though he was teaching us a lesson. And people used to call him Mr. Sunshine because he always had this great smile, you know. And Tony, I like, okay. So me and Jason are in the crowd. Jason is that French British djembe player. I'm in the crowd, and then we say, damn, there goes Tony. And Tony goes, and he starts to sing for Mandela. He starts to sing Redemption Song. Everything starts well because he gets that guitar part right. Dum, 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 dum. And it's cool, you know. And then he starts to sing, and Carter's kind of like, and then the timing goes off, and then somebody starts shouting, say, "Can you try 4/4?" And we're gonna, but don't mess with Tony, man. Tony pushes on, and you know the people just realize that this brother is going for it. So the people carry him, and everybody sang the song. Oh, pirates, yes they rob I, and it was for Mandela. So we just carried Tony that day, you know, and everybody celebrated, and it was just great, you know. So that was Tony. So it was good to see him on stage. It was a great feeling. Tony was the only brother who would come to see me when I disappeared from the scene because I lost my voice. I was sick, and I was really sick, and so I sought Jah, so I started fasting, you know, like praying and fasting, just like, okay, I'm gonna fast and pray. And I went deep into my Bible and everything, and then one day Tony came to me and says, Jimmy, I've come to see you. I said, well, all right, cool. He said, I know you're sick. I said, boy, Tony, how you know I'm sick? He says to me, well, I've come with a message for you. It's a message from Bob Marley. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, there's a message from Bob Marley. I had a dream last night, and Bob Marley said I must come see you because you're not well, you know, and I've got a message. And I said, really? He says to me, yeah. You know, and you know, the funny thing is, the day before Tony came, I remember there was another Tony who was living with us, who was a drummer. I just remember something told me to just get up and don't feel sorry for myself in my bed. Get up and go outside. And I went outside and I did some garden work. I cleaned the entire garden, picked up the leaves and everything and all of that. And Tony was asking me, he said, what you doing, Jimmy? I said, I'm cleaning. He says, okay, why? I said, because His Majesty is coming. You know, I said, His Majesty is coming. And he just looked at me and said, oh, okay. You know, and then a couple of days later, Tony came with that message. And so I said, all right, yeah. And he says, what did Bob say? And he says that Bob said that none of us should worry about anything because Jimmy is going to carry us all through. And I was like, Bob said that to you? He says, yeah, that's what Bob said. That we shouldn't worry at all because Jimmy is going to carry you all through. And I was like, okay. So he was my only friend who came to see me. And I shall meet him a couple of times again after this to reconfirm that he had that vision. And each time I met him, he says, yes, I remember it like yesterday. I've even got it on video. The only reason I don't really show that video, to be honest with you, is because that video, I haven't dyed my hair, so you can see the gray, and I'm really vain, you know. So now you know I'm speaking the truth. But I should show it. I should show it so you can see Tony and you can see myself. You know, my tooth not fixed and all them things, so I really don't like to show it. But truth is truth, so you got to show it, right? Yeah. So anyway, that was Tony. And Tony, when we used to jam at Lady Caroline, at Heaven, and later at Limelight, at Shaftesbury Avenue. Heaven was further down by Charing Cross Road, and then over by Shaftesbury Avenue you had Limelight. When we used to jam there, Lady Caroline came to me and said to me, why are you wasting your time with Tony? He can't sing. But I was the type of person who really, if you have 10% talent, I hear the 10% and I want to push the 10%. So Tony had come to me for some help with the song, and I still remember that that song that he came to me with, and it says, "Night and day I think of you, da 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 da," and I helped him with the chords and everything, and I felt that, yeah, you're ready for Heaven jam session, and I took him there, and he messed it up, and Lady Caroline was angry with me. She says, "Listen, the only reason he got on stage is because I know you're good. Now you're good. Now why you bring yourself down because of Tony or whatever?" But I didn't even answer her. I was more like, okay, it's just brethrens and loyalty and that type of thing. And that was going to be my role for the next many, many years, just to bring people on board who don't live up to the scratch of what it should be. The point is, you're just supposed to engage them and carry them, you know. So that's what I've learned is mainly my role, because if I had gone out there to say from the beginning, let me be like the Wailers and jump into the studio with as accomplished a group as the Scatterlights and accomplished a producer as Mr. Clement Dodd, I'd have been a star from the beginning, you know. But that's not my story. My story was I was always being amongst people who I had to carry on my shoulders, and the quality of my talent had to carry it out. I had to have a lot of patience with them, and I can name them. I can name all the different people who, to a certain level, were incompetent, but I was hanging with them for whatever reason, you know. So it's community work, Probably it's karma. I don't know. But anyway, Tony was that character, and then there were other characters who came by. Let me say, yeah, like I said, we used to go jamming. A lot of things used to happen. Girls sometimes would happen. There was one night that I really fucked up, but maybe I saved myself from being a teenage dad. We were at Gresham Road, number 3 Gresham Road, and I was jamming and I did my thing and I got a crowd going and everything, and I got the attention of 2 very beautiful Swedish girls. I swear to God, they were beautiful. They must have come for holiday and looking for adventure in London, and they ended up in this club in Brixton, and they were like, ooh, whatever they were into, they'd found it there. So I managed to talk to them, and I managed to get the one girl to say she was going to come with me, and so she told her friend. Her friend was already talking to another black brother, and so we organized and we left the club, and we walked by Gresham Road, past Colava Lane, going to the park and everything, and the girl says, "Where you taking us?" And then we came to 59 Loughborough Park Road, and we walk up the stairs. We come up to the door. As we come to the door, I'm reaching for the key, and I realize I don't have my coat on. I left my coat at the place where my key was in, and I go like, damn, the key is at the club. Rasta, you should have seen. I have never seen a more disgusted, angry look from one black man towards me as the look that came from that brother. The brother just looked at me and goes like, "Chow." And I'm like, oh, maybe I could crawl through the window, whatever. And girls are like, "Do you even live here?" In the Swedish live. I said, "Yes, my place is where I live. I just left and everything. Oh, we're gonna have to go back." Oh my God. So we went back to the club, and the girls were not impressed, and I ended up just being all alone that day, I was saying. It was really very unpopular. So a lot of things used to happen. Then, like I said, upstairs, Godfrey used to live up there, and what's his name? He had his girlfriend and children. A girlfriend's children were also upstairs. So let me just stop this so I can continue it.